Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Let's take a look at the headlines. Trinidad and Tobago to host a security seminar at the Hyatt Regency Hotel with former Chief of Police of the LAPD. The Finance Minister expects the economy to continue in upward growth into 2014. And Trinidad and Tobago wins an International Cocoa Award. Thank you for joining us. Various national security heads, including head of the National Security Council and Prime Minister the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, will engage in a security seminar at the Hyatt Regency Hotel with former Chief of Police of the Los Angeles Police Department, William Joseph Bratton. The seminar is one of government's initiatives to aid in the fight against crime.
William Bratton, who also served as police commissioner for New York City and Boston, arrived in Trinidad just before 1 o'clock on Monday. He was greeted by Captain the Honorable Gary Griffith, the Minister of National Security, and Acting Commissioner of Police Stephen Williams. Mr. Bratton and his team have been contracted to collaborate with the government of Trinidad and Tobago to undergo a precise revision of crime in the country, specifically the emergence and operations of gangs. At the end of the seminar, recommendations will be made to local authorities as how they can arrest the situation. Speaking upon his arrival, Mr. Bratton said he was confident the CompStat program will work in this country as it did in major U.S. cities. CompStat, short for Computer Statistics or Comparative Statistics, is the name given to New York City Police Department's accountability process. It tracks crime through pins stuck in maps and involves weekly crime control strategy meetings. CompStat is credited with the reduction of crime by 60% in New York.
We believe an essential element of any modernization, any successful effort to deal with the issue of crime. It is a mapping system, certainly, in an attempt to identify very quickly where crime is occurring, identify its extent, who's doing it, where's it happening, when's it happening, and then to quickly put police resources into that area to effectively deal with preventing it from growing, but more importantly, allowing it to be reduced. And I am very pleased that it's a system that has been replicated around the world, and that is one of its strengths, that it can work everywhere. It can be modified to any country's experience. It is not only a system for identifying where crime is occurring, but it's an accountability system for your police leadership to ensure that they are aware of where crime is occurring, that they know what the cause of it is, and they are able to basically present what is the strategies and the initiatives that they are undertaking to deal with the problem. And it's also a collaborative system. The idea that all the police officials responsible for crime and disorder come together to share what's working, what's not working, and what can we collectively do about it. So CompStat, in some respects, is very much what happens in medicine. You go to see a doctor, you're not feeling well. The doctor examines you, timely, accurate intelligence. He notices that he does some tests. The tests come back, you have a cancer. He wants to rapidly respond to that cancer to keep it from growing. So that's rapid response. He may use chemotherapy, he may use radiation, he may use other forms of treatment. He effectively deals with the cancer. But after he has cured you, he wants to still come back every 6 months and look at you to make sure it's not coming back. That's CompStat. It's practiced in medicine, and it's now widely practiced in policing. I understand that in your country there may have been efforts in the past to implement the system. My colleagues and I will be very interested to see if that system is still being used here, or if not, if that's something that we can encourage that it once again be looked at.
Mr. Bratton said though Trinidad and Tobago is different from the U.S., crime remains the same everywhere.
The good news is that so much of what's happening successfully in certain cities in America is being moved to other cities in America, but it can also be used and tailored to the experiences in other countries. It is like a doctor. When a doctor discovers a new medicine, a new form of treatment, that patients in the United States are very similar to patients elsewhere. What is necessary is to basically take into account what are the resources you have and how do you prioritize using those resources.
Following their arrival, The team visited two high-risk areas, Duncan Street, Port of Spain, and Beverly Hills, Laventille. Felicia Wilson-Mon, News 4.
In other news, the American Chamber of Commerce of Trinidad and Tobago is partnering with the University of Trinidad and Tobago to tackle the problem of declining work ethic and low productivity in the national workforce. It is doing so through a nationwide youth productivity forum.
The National Youth Productivity Forum is part of the American Chamber of Commerce of Trinidad and Tobago, or AmCham-TNT's Corporate Social Responsibility Program. AmCham-TT Vice President Daniel Nasser explains the program will target the youth of the nation, who are essentially the future workforce and therefore the country's most important resource.
The NYPF provides opportunities and guidance to secondary school-level students with particular emphasis on Forms 4 through 6 to identify and understand issues, national and international, which are germane to the country's progress and development. In this program, AmCham-TNT, in a collaborative partnership with the University of Trinidad and Tobago, has incorporated elements of training in the arts of critical and creative thinking, research, and presentation skills, which ensure that not only are our participants better equipped to deliver cogent and relevant arguments on the specific topics under discussion, but also to acquire life skills which are essential for meaningful participation in the structure and governance of all facets of functioning society.
The forum will encourage youth to discuss national issues such as this year's theme, crime and security, towards a more productive Trinidad and Tobago. Students will learn to widen their views and examine issues from the perspective of all stakeholders.
There are three major components. The discussion round, where 24 schools across Trinidad and Tobago will participate in 6 school districts. Each school is assigned a perspective, and in each school district, 4 schools will discuss the topic of this year's iteration, crime and security towards a more productive Trinidad and Tobago, from their respective assigned perspective. The final round will showcase the winners from each perspective. Schools can also participate in the NYPF through the projects component, where schools embark on a project which exemplifies the theme of this current year's forum. Projects are judged based on the market readiness of the initiative, and teams have to present and submit business plans.
The theme, crime and security, was chosen by AmCham because of the critical developmental challenge youth violence poses to countries in Latin America and the Caribbean.
School violence in Trinidad and Tobago has escalated. And according to the Caribbean Human Development Report 2012, overall, youth crime is costing CARICOM countries between 2.8% and 4% of the GDP annually in terms of direct expenditures on fighting crimes and lost revenues due to youth incarceration and declines in tourism revenues. The report further states that Trinidad and Tobago decreasing youth crimes by 1% would increase tourism revenues by nearly $35 million yearly.
Meanwhile, Minister of State in the Ministry of National Diversity and Social Integration, the Honorable Mbao Mahini, is reminding the youth of Trinidad and Tobago of their importance to not just the future, but also to the present national landscape.
And it's important that we focus not just on the tomorrow, but even more so on the today. Because you are primarily involved in preparation for nation building 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 25 years from now. But notwithstanding that, the youth play a critical role in our nation's life on a day-to-day basis.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
News 4 continues after the break. Stay with us. Finance Minister, the Honorable Larry Hawai, says he expects Trinidad and Tobago's economy to continue in upward growth into 2014. He made the statement during a ceremony held to mark the welcoming of the Intercommercial Bank, that's the IBL, into the Trinidad and Tobago market.
Trinidad and Tobago has recorded a second quarter of growth in its economy for 2013 at 2.1%. Finance and the Economy Minister Larry Hawai made the announcement during his speech to welcome Intercommercial Bank Limited, IBL, the senior management of Jamaican Money Market Brokers Limited, JMMB, to the TNT market. In his statement, the minister says Trinidad and Tobago's economy is now in a position to achieve its targeted growth rate, quote, as preliminary estimates show that the economy expanded by 2.1% in the second quarter of 2013, up from the 1.6% shown in the first quarter, end quote. The minister noted that Trinidad and Tobago's financial sector can be described as one of the most well-regulated in the region, as government has implemented several initiatives over the last year to strengthen the regulatory framework, which included the amendment of the Financial Intelligence Unit Act and the implementation of the Securities Act 2012. He added that the Insurance Bill 2013 will be reintroduced in the Parliament in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, the minister also commended JMMB's move to fully enter Trinidad and Tobago, as it has chosen a very opportune time to fully enter the banking sector, given the recent acceleration in overall economic growth. The finance minister says current low interest rates, a strong commercial banking sector that has performed well in 2012, which continues to maintain high capitalization and liquidity, provides a healthy environment for establishing business. The minister says IBL's focus on the growth of quality assets supported by risk management practices and its focus on its people and customers have borne fruit. For the financial year 2013, IBL was able to increase their loan base and returns to shareholders with net profit after tax increasing to $10.1 million. This year, IBL celebrated its 15th anniversary and was recently fully acquired by the Jamaican Money Market Brokers Limited. Kimberly Ram-Calawan, News 4.
30 members of Parliament have now received school supply grants to distribute to their constituents. The school supply grants are being issued by the Ministry of the People and Social Development.
Point-to-Pay MP Errol McLeod is the latest to distribute this assistance to disadvantaged citizens who are unable to afford school supplies for their children. The school supplies grant comes in the form of a debit card which parents can use to purchase anything for school for their children, from school books to socks. Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. the Honorable Glenn Ramadasing, acknowledges there have been setbacks in delivering the pilot initiative on time, but he is positive the persons who need the assistance will welcome the helping hand being offered with much gratitude.
What you give to the person who has children and is challenged is you give them a choice. We are not giving away a bag full of geometry pans and copybooks which students might have already. We are giving them $500 to purchase what they may not have been able to purchase. A book that is not on the syllabus but is of interest in reading for the student. Perhaps a more advanced book for the scholarship-minded person, for those who want to read more or who want to read about it, not in an academic way, but to read stories about a particular issue, to read around. Someone might want to become an oceanographer, and they might see a book that, and this is not the textbook for the school. This is really opening up the mind of the child and giving the parents choice, and so they can purchase what they want. So the fact that it is 2 months late, it is probably about 50 years too late.
Stringent requirements by the banks, negotiations between the government and the private sector, and legal reviews to ensure good governance also played a part in the delayed distribution of the grant. Minister Ramadasing says, despite this, hundreds of the grants have already been distributed and promises assistance will be offered to many more persons. He believes the grant will be given to and appreciated by those who need it the most.
Some will be given out with NGOs and community-based organizations requests and persons who have come to the ministry itself. So at the end of the day, hundreds of families will be assisted. Although $500 is not much for some people. For people who have 3 and 4 children in school, and some children are doing well, and need things for school that are not given by the government, this makes a world of a difference.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Sport is up right after the break. The Ministry of Sport hosted the first annual Live Sport Festival on Sunday at Constantine Park in Tunapuna. The festival is designed to encourage sporting competition amongst all centers within the Life Start program, or that should be the Life Sport program, which caters to just about 34 communities throughout Trinidad and Tobago. News 4 Sports was there, and according to Wayne Cunningham, it was no ordinary event. Here are the details.
On a gloomy, rain-soaked Sunday in Mukoya, Tunapuna, we saw camaraderie, respect and friendly competition as young men on the dark edge of society continue to pull themselves back into the life. It was the Ministry of Sport Live Sport Festival at Constantine Park, where participants in this landmark initiative came out with friends and family for a day in the sun. Well, rain.
Right here at the first annual Live Sport Festival. We don't play, we going night and day. No friend can tie away. We coming again.
The Honorable Anil Roberts, Minister of Sport, commended the massive gathering of participants for coming out on time in the inclement weather and urged them to maintain the dedication in order to help keep the program alive.
We must understand something. Don't feel this program going to just last and keep going. There are many forces who want this to fail. Many people find I should not be fighting for money to help you. The only way this program will continue is if you all continue the great work that you are doing. When you all did not get paid, and I apologize from the bottom of my heart, when you all didn't get your stipends and the skills trainers and the teachers and the coordinators did not get money, understand that it is a process of a fight down right through. And I will fight for you because you all fought for the program. You all could have easily said, when you didn't get your stipend, fire burn that, I done with that. You did not. You stayed with the program, and that is why the program will continue to stay with you.
Minister Roberts has no intention of giving up the fight.
I ask you all to keep giving me ammunition to fight for you. When I go into cabinet and I say that all over the country, without payment, 5 months payment late, no money, that 88% of our live sport participants turn up on time and pay attention and take part Monday to Friday, everybody had to shut up.
Live sport is a major tool in the quest for positive development amongst the youth through non-traditional avenues, but it's not an easy task.
So keep working hard. Understand that this is your way out. This is your way up and forward. This is your way to take care of your families. Each and every one of you has talent, and we're going to find it, and we're going to ensure that our children and children could have this program. If they don't like school too much, no big thing. We will find out where your talent is, and you could be successful in Trinidad and Tobago. So enjoy. God bless to all those teachers, coordinators, life skills, the people who put it together. Congratulations. Keep up the work. Have fun, play hard, and climb strong together. God bless. Thank you.
Start winding up now.
By the way, rain don't stop play in live sport cricket. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
When we come back, Trinidad and Tobago wins an international Cocoa Award. Stay with us. The International Cocoa Award celebrated at the Salon du Chocolat in France saw Trinidad and Tobago placed as one of the top producing cocoa nations in the world. State-run cocoa estate La Reunion Estate excelled across the full spectrum of flavor for fruity, floral, nutty, and spicy notes.
Trinidad and Tobago continues to solidify its ranks among the world's top cocoa producers following 3 consecutive years. This as cocoa from state-operated chocolate-producing company La Reunion Estate won the International Cocoa Award at the recently concluded 2013 Salon du Chocolat in Paris, France. Trinidad and Tobago has developed a reputation as producer of cocoa bearing an exquisite and distinctive fine cocoa flavor. In congratulating the company on its excellent crop production, Food Production Minister Devant Maharaj noted that this is proof that this country's chocolate has the richest flavor. Ambassador of Trinidad and Tobago to France, Margaret King Roseau, received the award on behalf of the local government at the formal handing over ceremony during the Salon du Chocolat professional show. 4 cocoa estates in Trinidad and Tobago entered the competition. However, La Reunion is one of the largest in the country and was among the 15 estates from the 13 cocoa-producing countries to receive the coveted award. The Salon du Chocolat is an international chocolate show that seeks to promote chocolate producers, manufacturers, and artisan craftsmen from around the world to facilitate collaborative relationships among all stakeholders in the cocoa and chocolate industry. In 2013, the top 50 of the 114 cocoa bean samples submitted for competition were processed into chocolate and presented to a jury of more than 30 chocolate professionals and cocoa experts for the selection of the winners of the International Cocoa Award. Kimberam Calawan, News 4.
Meanwhile, the increase in available resources for the enhancement of the ICT sector is bearing fruit. Government's investment is giving hope to citizens who are innovative and who dream big.
Trinidad and Tobago is showing that it can be a strong contender on the international front when it comes to innovation and technology. On November 1st, this country, and by extension the Caribbean, was well represented by Trinbagonians Ade Innis King and Elysia Madonna Corin at the Venture Out Challenge, which took place in Chisinau, Moldova. The challenge, which sought to support mobile app entrepreneurs to expand internationally, was launched by the World Bank's InfoDev and CRDF Global, an international organization which promotes international technical collaboration. It was directed at young startups from relatively small domestic markets for whom expanding globally is particularly crucial. 3 winners rose from over 100 promising applicants after pitching their mobile app technologies to a panel of venture capitalists and mobile experts. The finalists included ventures from Africa, the Caribbean, and Europe and Central Asia, and represent mobile applications ranging from mobile health applications, location-based services, and entertainment applications. The local team presented MADE, My App for Disasters and Emergencies. The pilot mobile app provides location-specific and actionable information about natural disasters that could make a significant difference in emergency situations. It is said to be a response to the 2012 flash flooding in Diego Martin that caused millions of dollars in damages. The winners will receive US $10,000 in seed funding and mentorship to launch their companies internationally, while all other participants will receive ongoing training and mentorship for the internationalization of their ventures and the development of their customer base in the coming months. Ade is quoted as saying, "The Caribbean is full of creative and talented people. We may not have the same resources as richer countries, but we can make a difference." Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you so much for joining us.